Welcome back to Yogaxpress, your virtual stretch clinic that helps you move the body to still the mind. My name is Banu Suresh. I'm your host for this program. And from my extreme right, we have Sarah Torres. Sarah had brought her two little ones a couple of days back, a few episodes ago. And Sarah, I have to say thank you so much. Their energy was very positive for our studios and for all of us. It was beautiful to have them over. Hopefully you'll bring them back again. So is there something you'd like to share with our viewers today about yourself, ma'am?
About me? Yes, actually. I heard back from my editor.
You did?
Which is good, yeah.
Wonderful.
There's only one inconsistency that she spotted, so
Right.
she sent me the manuscript back. And after I fix it and she goes over it, I should at least start hearing some dates that they'll have some books.
So we're looking forward to it maybe
Yes.
by Christmas time?
Yes, hopefully.
Sarah
I hope.
is an up-and-coming author, and you have two titles, right, Sarah?
Yes, that I'm working on currently
Right.
for publication. There's others.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, welcome back to the show, Sarah. It's always a pleasure to have you back. We have a triple black belt right here. I'm going to have Nori say a few words about her. Nori Jung to my immediate left. Nori, a few
Hi,
words
how are
about
you?
yourself.
Thanks for having me here.
Our pleasure.
I had such a wonderful experience last time when I participated in your show.
Right.
So I was looking forward to be in today's edition of show, especially with your guest Jill camera. Wow, so I'm glad to be here, and really. And
Tell us, what are your black belts in?
well, I'm in black belt in Taekwondo.
Taekwondo, yeah.
And then very traditional practice, which called ITF form,
Okay.
very old, the traditional one. And also I have Jiu-Jitsu black belt,
Wow.
and
Okay.
which is also the next one, Hapkido, which is combined with Aiki Jiu-Jitsu from original Japanese and now inherit to the Korean practice, combined together called Hapkido.
So one of these days, when we have you on as a special guest, have you do a demo, we're going to have you explain the difference between
Okay.
all those doors.
In fact, very different like branch, but it came from same root.
Right.
So,
Okay.
it should be like a cousins.
Wonderful. But I know you also have an art show right here at Manhattan Neighborhood Network,
Yeah.
Nori Vision, right?
No revision, Friday, 8:30 p.m. live show.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Thank
Very
you.
nice. I'm glad you could make it today, Nori. It's really a pleasure to have you back.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm going to save our special guest for the last. Before I introduce someone very special today, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. Yogaxpress airs Monday through Friday on Time Warner 57, RCN 84, and Fios 35 at 1:30 Eastern Time. That's 1:30 New York time. If you don't receive us because you're outside of New York, you live outside of New York, you could go to our studio website, mnn.org, and then go to MNN3 and then look up Yogaxpress. It's spelled Yogaxpress. We live in North America. We don't know how to spell. There's no E before the X. So you want to make sure that you watch us every day, stretch with us Monday through Friday, and on weekends, give your body a break. And Jill will probably explain the mechanics of why the body needs a break. I'm going to have her do that. Moving on, we also have, if you come on our show, we will give you a copy of my third title, Yoga Secrets, which has 2+8 ailment-specific cards inside. And we will share with you a little postcard with some basic stretches called 48 plus. In fact, Jill is going to, now, actually before, I shouldn't have given your name out, should I? Now for the big moment you've all been waiting for, Jill Camera. Jill is an amazing, amazing yoga instructor. She's very experienced and one of my favorite yoga teachers in New York. Jill, I'm going to have you tell us exactly what you're going to have us experience today. And a little bit about yourself too. Please.
I'll make that brief. I've been teaching for just about 11 years now,
Right.
practicing for many, many more. What did I say last time? Consistently, inconsistently at first, but now very consistent. And I've been interested lately in developing some stretches and strength building movements for people who perhaps cannot get up and down from the floor and would like to do their practice in a chair.
What a wonderful idea.
Yes, because it,
How did you think of that?
well, my wonderful parents are getting on in years, and they've been always very active their whole life, so I thought it's time for them to experience
Yeah, to
yoga.
stay active and
Yes, stay active, and they're still very active. But I thought for a nice introduction into yoga, we would start with some chair yoga, and it's accessible for, again, all ages,
fitness
all
levels.
fitness levels.
Fantastic.
And also not only for people that possibly cannot get up and down from the floor, don't choose to, but it's something you can do sitting at your desk. Nori and I were talking about that earlier. You can practice it on a plane if you do a lot of travel.
I was going to ask,
Absolutely.
yeah.
That
That would be
sounds great.
wonderful.
You have to be a little ready to strut your stuff, because you'll probably get some looks when you're on the
Yeah,
plane or the
right.
bus, but who cares? It's such a wonderful
Right.
art and so healthful for the body
Right.
and mind. And so yes, little by little, I'm working on this series, and I wanted to share it with us and you. And
Jill,
give it a go.
how can our viewers reach you? Because I know there are going to be a lot of people who want to know how to get in touch with you. Is there an email or a website?
Yes, my email is my name, Jill Camera, JILLCAMERA @AOL.com, and I believe it'll come up. There it is, right
That's
in
right.
the credits below. So
You're
yes,
also an author, right? You have.
yes, I have a book called Yoga Fan, co-author, and
Cool.
it's a nice kind of fan format. I should have brought one, I forgot.
know,
I know.
yeah, I
Oh,
should have
well.
brought it. I
yeah,
have that too.
yeah, next time. And it has various postures and with little descriptions in there. So that's a nice way to practice at home, as well as watching Banu's show.
No, I think it's a great reminder so people have something to work with. And I think
And again,
what
travel.
you're going to do when they travel, exactly, to carry it with them. And what we're going to do today is probably going to help them or help remind people how to adapt those postures. So if you watch
Exactly.
us today. So you're going to take us through a sequence of stretches, a series of stretches, which we can practice sitting in chairs, correct?
Yes.
Okay, before we move on, I'd like to thank our amazing crew, a one-person crew, Josian Hurd, our director. Josian, thank you for holding the fort. And Richard Swanson, our coordinator, facilitator for today, who's responsible for all these lights and the sound system. Thanks so much for making this episode happen today. Jill, we are ready whenever you are.
Perfect. And I did want to do one thank you, I promised, to my boyfriend, who has always been very supportive of my yoga career, but never has indulged himself, has allowed me to practice on him, and I think he's going to get started more and more.
I wish you'd brought him here today. Oh, we would have loved to have
Next
him.
time,
Yeah,
next time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we love that because it's so inspiring as a couple to be stretching together.
Oh, it's the best. And again, it's so interesting with the yoga practice, just the little bit of effort goes such a long way, and people experience the benefits right away.
Right.
And
Suddenly we're sitting,
sudden-
taking our shoulders back.
yes,
and sitting
and
up front.
suddenly we're hooked.
Oh, I think paid practice is just wonderful. It's just wonderful.
Very
You should
nice.
bring him.
Nice for the relationship. Nice for.
Would your boyfriend mind if we used his name and we said hi to him?
right now?
Yeah.
Oh no, not at all. His name's Andrew Stephen.
Andrew, Stephen. Hello from all of us here, from Nori, Sarah, and of course Jill and myself, Banu. So hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you stretch with us in your chair, and all our other viewers as well. I believe Manhattan Neighborhood Network has about 3.5 million viewers. We are hoping at
very
least
nice,
some of them
very
will
nice.
join us today.
All right.
So Jill, we are ready for you.
So let's get started. Most of these stretches that we'll be doing, if you prefer to do them on a yoga mat, you can, but for today, we'll be
We'll
in our
use the
chairs.
Right.
Excellent.
Okay, so before we freeze.
Yes.
Whoa. Gotta
So
get
we're
the blood
getting up,
moving.
yes.
We're going to get up. We're
Go.
trying not to face our backs to the camera, so we're going to reverse into these chairs.
All right, and we'll give ourselves a little room. So you want some room forward.
Between us.
Yes, between us, and also so your
Sarah,
legs
you want to
can
take
go
the chair, just move the chair a
Just
little
give
away.
me
That's
this
it.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
want
we
to
can
use-
just move this neatly.
Yes, why
Yeah,
not?
that's fine. Yes,
Very nice.
right there. That's right. That's it. So that we have some room.
So
Is
I'd
it a
like
lucky
to
knot
start.
or something?
It's-
Is it a lucky knot or something?
I think it was a little lucky knot. And I'm gonna just take this off because what I would really like to do this session is to be clear enough with my instructions that it's something that perhaps you can remember easily. So again, if you're traveling, if you just find yourself with an opportune moment to do these stretches, you'll be able to do them.
Right.
Few guidelines for chair yoga proper. You want to make sure that the chair is stable.
Right.
And again, you can check, make sure it doesn't rock side to side or forward or backwards. If you're doing your practice in a wheelchair, you definitely want to lock the wheels so that the chair will not move. So that's
Right.
very important.
Oh,
And
that's
again,
good to know. So
yes.
people
Oh, yes.
in wheelchairs can practice this.
Oh, sure, sure.
Wonderful.
This is for, again, all fitness levels, all
Wonderful abilities.
abilities and ages. So again, you want to lock the wheels and you want to make sure you have a good stable chair. Ideally, again, the chair should not have arms, but if it does have arms, we can work around that,
Right,
no problem. So we're going to start with the fundamental yoga pose, and I'm going to use the Sanskrit names as well as the English names. This pose is called Tadasana or mountain pose, and that name alone gives it a flavor. You want to make sure that you're nicely stable on your chair, and we do that by making sure that the feet are flat on the floor. If your legs were a little bit longer and perhaps your knees were higher, you might either get a higher level on your chair or put something solid underneath of your feet. If your feet do not touch the bottom, same thing, put a little something underneath of your feet. The knees right over top of the ankles. And then once again, the knees in line with the hips. And then as you start to reach up from that nice rooting that you've created with your feet, letting your sitting bones, now your sitting bones are two rounded bones in either butt cheek. On these chairs, you can feel them pretty clearly, right?
Right.
If the chair has a cushion, you might not be able to. So if you want to, you could take your hands and just move your buttocks flesh back and away, and you'll feel those sitting bones, named very aptly because we sit on them, weighted down into the chair. And this is going to give you stability in your base, and from here, we'll have the mobility to lift the chest up and lengthen the spine a bit. You can start by resting your hands on your thighs, and then this way maybe we can move the shoulders a little bit back. As you close your eyes to start, think of where your ears are in space and line them up with your shoulders.
I'm thinking naughty thoughts now, but yeah.
Let's
My
hear the
ears are
bottom.
in space. I love that.
The ears in space. So this way you've got a good clear line of energy all the way from the base of the spine, which is between those two sitting bones, right through the crown of the head, which is where it extends energetically. So you always want to sit up nice and tall, and this is a pose that we'll come back to again and again. So to start, we're going to do a basic warm-up, and I'm going to start from the base up, so again, it'll be easier to remember. So you can go ahead and open your eyes if they're closed, sitting up nice and tall, and you want to be comfortable. If anytime you need to make a little adjustment, you're welcome to. And we'll start by extending the legs out any amount and spreading the toes wide. If this is too much for you, you can always bring the legs back a little bit, and always feel free to take your hands. Again, if your mobility is a little bit less so with the legs, you can just use the hands to lift the legs, and then just start to spread the toes wide, maybe wiggle them back and forth. You might think, oh, this is the simplest of movements. What is this? Is this yoga? Yes, it is, because we're using our concentration, we're focusing on the movements, we're linking the mind with the movements, and anything you do to any part of the body, I'm sure Nori, sends the energy and affects every other part. So the simplest thing of being able to wiggle the toes, and you'll see some have more command than others of will, is beneficial. Yes, this is toe. That'll be the next thing. That'll be the next brand, Bonham, I promise you. So moving up a bit, again, you can extend the legs out a little bit more if that's okay, and then maybe lift one leg and start to make some circles with your
I
ankles.
can see exactly how we can use this on the aircraft.
Oh,
because
sure.
the seats are so narrow.
And right away, again, anytime you wake up another one part of the body, the rest of the body's affected, then we'll switch sides. And then the feet can come down. From here, we'll work our way up to the knees. So again, if your mobility is a little bit limited, you can use your hands to lift the thigh. Otherwise, lift the thigh and just start to move the knee joint back and forth, warming that up. And then we'll place that leg down, and of course, we'll do the other side. And then moving up, we'll start to warm up the hips. Again, pick up one leg and then the other. If it's a little bit challenging for you to do that, you just take your hands behind your thighs and help your leg lift up
What
and down.
muscles are we using when we pick up the legs,
Well,
for example?
right now, I'm not really so concerned with the muscles, more so than the joints.
Right.
So we're working progressively with the joints in the
Warm the
body
joints.
to warm up the joints and get them a little bit lubricated and just used to moving.
Right.
So that was nice hip action that way, and then we're going to take a little bit different. So you're just going to turn your right knee a little out to the side and maybe take your leg up and down.
Oh, I can see the progression right there.
Right, you feel that? A little bit of hip opening, and then of course your other leg. And again, so mild of movements for some of us, but so beneficial. Again, sitting up nice and tall, we'll start to move the spine a little bit. We'll talk more about that later. But we're going to take an easy twist over to the right. So you bring your right hand behind you. Feel free to bring the hand to the back of the chair. Left hand over to that right thigh. And just as you take a couple of breaths in, that's nice, Sarah, and out, you'll start to feel a nice warmness through the torso, nice warmth through the torso, waking up that whole trunk. And then come on back to center. And we'll switch sides. So you bring your left hand behind, right hand over, and then take a few inhales. If it feels okay on the neck, you can turn to look over your shoulder, but you don't have to. And then back to center we come. Now we'll start with the hands. Again, use whatever range of motion you have to spread the fingers, crunch the palms a little bit. Again, if you have a little arthritis, just do the best you can. Do whatever movements feel comfortable, a little bit of stretchy, and then we'll start to work a bit with the wrists. Go in one direction and then in the other. And then again, sequentially moving up, we've got our elbow
Reminds
joints.
me of the Indian dance.
Yes, oh yes, the nyasa.
Mudras,
So,
yeah.
yes. Oh, and again, one of these days we'll do some nice nyasas
Mudras, yeah.
with our breathing. So now with the elbows, you could bend them up and down, and then maybe turn the hands out to the sides of the room. So you get again, whatever intuitively feels nice to move, to get things warmed up. And then you can even take the hands a little behind you. You'll feel that you will feel in your tricep muscle a bit. That's the muscle at the back of the upper arm. And then we'll move to the shoulders. So you'll start with one shoulder, move that a little in one direction, and then change. And then the other shoulder, and then change, and then both. So you'll see in general throughout our sessions together, we start to work with one side and then the other side, and then we'll put the two sides together. But at any time, if that's too much for you, just go back to doing one side and then the other. And we'll warm up the neck a little bit. Just go ahead and turn over towards your right and bring the head back to center and turn over to your left. Bring the head back to center. If it feels okay in your neck, go ahead and lift the chin a little bit and come on back. And perhaps take a little dip with the chin, stretch the back of the neck. And then very mindfully, we're gonna let the right ear go towards the right shoulder. So you don't wanna go too far in this movement.
It's not going too far.
Right. Yes, we have our own natural breaks, which is very beneficial. And then come on back and over to the other side. And come on back. Nicely done, my friends. Very good. And once again, sit up nice and tall. Do you feel a little bit different already from just those very
up, yeah.
small movements? Get things active and ready to go.
It's like a gentle body massage.
Exactly. Well, yoga that is beautiful. Right. Sometimes yoga is described as a massage from the inside out.
Yes.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Relaxing already. Nice.
Very relaxed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't you go to sleep on us, Nori?
Yeah.
We're going to be picking up the pace a little bit, and I think we're okay for time because what I'd like to do is go through the 6 actions of the spine. So the spine can move in 6 directions. And again, the reason I'm being so, I guess the word is pragmatic with everything, is so that these things will be easier for you to remember. So again, you could do them anytime, any place. So the spine can go up and down in a vertical direction. So to accentuate that a little bit, we're going to reach our left arm up to the sky and just feel that stretch all along the left side of the body. That helps facilitate the spine staying upright and tall, and then we'll exhale that arm down. And then from here, we'll take the right arm up. Again, nice stretch all along the right side of the body, helps to lengthen the spine, and exhale the arm down. And now both arms. Again, if this is a little too challenging for you, feel free to go back and do one side and then the other. So we're adding the arms as, I guess you would say, little levers or fulcrums to help stretch the spine up. As we root down through those sitting bones, you'll feel a nice kind of energetic stretch along the spine, along the side body, as you take some deep breaths in and out.
It's like having opposing forces, right? One force pulling us
Exactly.
from up and the other getting us down.
Oppositional action. Thank you, Bano. That's a wonderful, wonderful point. As my fingertips go up and the sitting bones go down, you've got an oppositional action there, and that's the tractioning of the spine. So let's inhale a deep breath and exhale, lower those arms down. So in Sanskrit, that's called samastihiti spine, up and down spine, equal spine. So the spine can now go, second direction we're going to take is side to side. So go ahead and bring your left hand to the side of the chair if that's comfortable.
Not enough room on the chair for me.
Or you can rest it on your
I'm
thigh,
kidding.
have
No,
it
that's
a little
fine.
bit grounded. Yeah, it's nice because you can actually sit on the hand and really get
Right.
it down there. And then you're going to take that right arm up over your head to the left side. So you'll notice now a deeper stretch all along the right side of the body. It makes a little bit of a C shape. This is called Parshva movement, to the side. And you'll know some of the poses have the name Parshva in them.
Classical.
Parshva Konasana, to the side pose. So this is the Parshva action of the spine. With a big inhale, come on up and release that right hand down, and we'll take the other side. So you'll firm up through the right hand, get it on the chair or on your thigh or even underneath, and you'll start to take the left arm up and over next to your left ear, and you want to stretch your fingertips over to the right. Now you'll feel a nice stretch all along the left side of the body, comes into a little C shape, so the spine is moving a side to side action, this Parshva action. So the spine can be up and down, and it can go side to side. And then big inhale, come on up, nicely done, and release the hands down. The third action of the spine we'll work on is pavriti, which means to twist. And we already did one of these twists, but we'll do another one. So you're going to bring your right hand behind you, left hand over. This time, if you want to go a little deeper, you can turn your left palm up to the sky and have the back of your hand on your thigh. Again, root down nicely through the feet and the legs, sit up nice and tall. And then as you exhale, really start to spin around to the right. Neck is nicely warmed up, so maybe you can look over your right shoulder, inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. So this is called pavriti movement of the spine. And come on back to center with the breath and find center. And we'll switch sides. So you bring the left hand behind, right hand over. You can flip the right palm up so the back of the hand is on the thigh. That gives you, again, a little bit more leverage. And again, inhaling.
That's a great idea because when I turn my palm over, I'm able to pull myself a little deeper.
Exactly. So that
Nice.
really is a
Lovely.
lever action,
Yeah.
right? Inhaling and exhaling. Always relaxing the shoulders, but deepening into that twist. Beautiful, ladies. Come on back to center and find our mountain pose. So we've got 3 actions. Straight up and down, side to side, twist. The spine can go forward and backwards, forward bending and back bending. So to demonstrate that, If it's comfortable, you're going to take your legs straight out. Maybe move slightly to the edge of the chair, but again, be sure that you don't slip off. Exactly. Nicely put, Banu. Very direct that way. Again, if this is challenging to straighten the legs, feel free to keep a little bend. Bring your thumbs into your hip creases. Inhale a deep breath, and exhale. Bring the spine forward. So this is a forward bending action of the spine. Should feel pretty nice. You've got a little action in the hips, nice stretch through the back. This is called a Paschimottanasana action. Paschima means a west stretch or back body stretch. Beautiful. And then inhale to come on up. Second to last is our back bending. To demonstrate this,
interesting.
okay, you ready for this?
Yep.
We're going to bring our arms out to the side in a cactus shape. So the elbows are lined up with the shoulder. Believe it or not, on your inhale, simply take your arms behind you and notice how that brings the chest and spine into a back bending position. So as the arms go back, the shoulder blades glide onto the back body, beautiful, opening up the chest, pressing the back of the chest forward, and there's our back bend. And hand.
I was hoping you wouldn't ask us to go over the back of the chair.
That comes in the advanced session. Now, you're welcome to do this with me if you like. Viewers at home, be judicious. Maybe just have a watch for this because this is a pretty deep action, but I wanted to show the sixth action of the spine is its ability to go upside down. So in a chair, you would take your legs wide, you'd be on the edge of your chair, again, making sure you were very, very stable. Bringing your hands to your thighs, you'll start to bring yourself into your forward bend. If this is a good place for you to stay and breathe, fine. If you want to go a little deeper, you can bring one hand to the floor and maybe the other hand. This might be a good place to stay and breathe. If you feel you have a little bit more range of motion and you really want to take that spine upside down, you bend your elbows and let the crown of the head go down to the floor. So now our spine is in an inverted position.
Did you say the crown goes all the way down?
The crown of the head goes towards the floor.
Okay.
Towards
I was
the floor.
thinking that's not going to happen today.
No, that's,
Okay.
I don't think that'll happen with anyone, Banu. No, that's just the direction of the spine. Now, to come up, again, very careful. Straighten the arms. Take a rest here. One hand to one knee, other hand to the other knee. Come on up. Bring the legs together and find your mountain pose. Maybe close the eyes, just experience all the nice benefits of that yoga practice, the asana practice, bring the body into the various stretches and strengthening postures. Focusing the mind with those movements and sensing that balance of the nervous system and then the quiet of the mind.
I'd like to close with 30 seconds. Is the session for this time?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to say thank you.
Oh, you're so
to
welcome.
our viewers. Thanks so much for staying with us. We have an amazing, amazing guest, Jill Camera, is a yoga instructor, very popular teacher in New York City. If you want to reach her, jillcamera@aol.com. And today's episode was made possible because of our director, Josiane Hurd, Richard Swanson, our facilitator for today. This episode has been taped in the studios of Manhattan Neighborhood Network on behalf of Sarah Torres, Nori Jung, and our very special guest, Jill Camera. This is Banu Suresh signing off, and you are watching Yoga Express. Stay with us, stretch with us tomorrow, same time, same place. Jill will be back for at least another 2 sessions. Is that a promise, Jill?
That is the promise, Banu.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You were amazing. Josiane, if we're still rolling, we're going to keep stretching. You can keep recording.
Now, I have a question. When we did this one, can I go this with my together like that, or just only
Just the arm or
Yeah,
the whole
arm
body?
goes? Yeah, that was my question. I didn't want to interrupt you.